Since for the time being I am residing in this particular body with this particular brain and life experience, I know myself more than I know anyone else. It's all fascinating. I always thought if I could have a wish, it would be to have complete access to my file. To be able to go to the day before my 8th birthday. It's all in there, I know. I'm fascinated. I'd love to be able to see it. At my choice, of course. I don't want it bombarding me any old time. Since this is a matter of such interest to me, I started to wonder what happens when other people tell your stories. I might be reminded of things that happened to me years ago that I had completely forgotten about. One birthday, when I was in my 50s, I decided I would give a party where people were asked to come prepared to tell a story. A story about me, of course. It didn't have to be nice. It could be anything. They would not have to tell them in front of anyone. I set up a spare room with recording equipment and a sound engineer. One person would go in to tell their story. There was the sound engineer was in the room and the person who had just preceded them. So you remained after you told your story to be an audience for the next person. This went on all afternoon, people going into the room one at a time and telling a story about me. Some of them had known me for 20 years or more. I couldn't hardly wait till they left. I was up till 4 in the morning listening to these tapes. It was a way of getting my life back, things that I had completely forgotten. So this definitely was of value to storytelling. The interesting thing was, the stories they were telling me about me, if I did remember them, weren't at all like my stories of that same event. There was one story that 3 different people told, the same story, all one at a time, of course. One of them hadn't even been there. She had only heard about it from someone else, and that was the story she chose to tell. Those 3 stories about one event, I have been telling the story about the same event, and it wasn't at all like either of those 3 stories. Now, where does that leave us? Rashomon.